Alexa, set alarm for 5 minutes.
Alarm set for 5 minutes from now.
Alexa, play CC Wines.
Here's some music by CC Winans on Amazon Music.
Thank you. So, singing her song. Okay. I'm back. Whoops. I'm late today. I had an emergency. I'm okay. But that's why I'm late. Had to deal with something, and then I just had lunch, a very late lunch. Trey, you want to do soup and sandwich tonight?
Okay.
Not a ham sandwich.
No. Okay.
Okay. You should upgrade your Alexa. There's another Alexa that can do more stuff, and you upgrade it in your phone. So if you bring me your phone later, I'll update your Alexa. I don't think she heard me. um, Drinking some water in my cow cup. Isn't that adorable? I got it from Temu. Oh, thank you, Summer. Everyone calls it Temu, but I saw a commercial for it, and it's actually called Temu. Temu. But everyone calls it Temu, so they should just change it to Temu. Anyway, that's where I got my cup from. I love Highland cows. They remind me of my Toby, who's my dog. He has he's got like big fluffy hair on the top of his head. And I felt so stupid because I actually used to think that these were a type of buffalo. Because I saw one at a zoo once. And I thought it was like some form of buffalo. Because it kind of looked like a buffalo, but it was a lot smaller. So, that's what my brain's thinking. And they had them near the buffaloes, so that's, I didn't see a Highland cow post or anything. So that's what I always thought. And then I was watching the Hoof GP on YouTube, and he actually trims cow hoofs, to keep them healthy. And he went to a farm that breeds Highland cows. And he was in this pen with all these baby Highland cows. And I just fell in love with them. And I'm like, that's a cow? They're fluffy cows? So ever since then, I fell in love with them. So yes, I do. Yes, I do reborns. Just another reminder at about 2 p.m. New York City time on New Year's Day. I understand if everyone can't make it, it's a very busy day for everybody. But or some people are be sleeping in a lot from partying. But I won't be on till 2 p.m. 1 second. Alexa, cancel alarm. I won't be on until 2 p.m. So that gives people time to sleep in. But New Year's Day is my anniversary, my 6-year anniversary as a reborn artist. So I'll be coming on live for about, depending on how many people come on, an hour, possibly 2. It just depends on the amount of people that come on, because I don't want to talk to myself. And I will be bringing on the twins that I just completed in air dry. I just finished rooting them and all that, because my customer is going on vacation So she doesn't want me to ship them until she gets back because she's worried if they don't get there before she leaves. So they're going to be here with me for a couple weeks. So I'm going to bring them on the live so you can also see my air dry work. Right now I'm working on heat set. But after this winter, when spring hits, I get more product, I will be full-time heat set. So if you want to learn air dry from me, it'll be good for you to chime in after I'm done these heat set babies. I'm hoping to start the air dry probably in the middle or near the end of January. If not for sure February. So if you want to learn air dry from me, this will be the last air dries that I do. Because I had already committed to a couple of them, and then I just added a couple more in there to help me buy the heat set product I need, because I had to order it from the UK. And shipping is expensive, and and then I have to pay duty fees too, because import fees, because Canada does that. But believe it or not, my duty fees are cheaper with, even before Trump. They're cheaper with the UK because the UK and Canada have a trading deal. So it's better if I can, even if we didn't have Trump, to order from the UK. But that just means I can't order from Bountiful Baby until Trump's gone, because I heard the tariffs are pretty bad. So I don't even want to play with that. But anyway, I got lots of kits here that I can work on, so no big deal. And I have McPherson Crafts here in Canada, so I can order babies from them. I don't usually order reborns that are not sold in Canada because of the import fees. The only time I ever bought a kit outside of Canada is Bountiful Baby and my Nino kit, who I'm going to be repainting and selling in the spring, in heat set. I got him from Trueborns in United States. This is before Trump, though, because they weren't selling him in Canada, because Trueborns and the sculpture had she was using Trueborns as the only American store that was selling it. So he was sold in other countries, but he wasn't sold in Canada, and he was only sold to Trueborns in America. So that's why I had to order him from there. I'm going to just read some of these comments. Give me one sec. The lettering is so tiny on here that I have to put... I don't know where my glasses are, so I'm going to put my visors on. Super tiny. Like, come on, YouTube. You make them a little bigger. I got a reborn. And my doll, its hair. Oh, the hair's getting redone. Yeah, you can, I do also have, I have an account at, Facebook pages, Precious Little Lambs. I also have, I haven't upgraded it, but if people want to contact me and send me pictures and stuff like that, you can do so at Instagram under Precious Little Lambs. I don't have it fully updated yet, though, but you can message me there, or I have an email, I believe it's preciouslittlelambs2020@gmail.com. Let me know if that one works for you. I'm pretty sure it's preciouslittlelambs2020@gmail.com. Because I started in 2020. My 6-year anniversary is coming up on New Year's Day. Oh, shoot, I gotta put Pickle's head in the oven. I'll be right back. I might have to reheat the oven. Let me just go in there and check. Probably put Tink's legs with him. Okay, I'll be right back. I got to go in the oven room. Look at Tink's legs. Look how tiny these little legs are. Okay, let's go check. Alexa, set alarm for 42 minutes. I don't know. I was concentrating on. I don't think so. Okay, sorry about that. It was still warm. Okay, I have to preheat my ovens in the wintertime because they get temperature shock if I don't. So I don't actually, just for newcomers, I don't actually bake them for 42 minutes. They say that it's safe to go in there after 15 minutes. So because I'm asthmatic, I just make things safer, go the extra mile to make it safer for me. Trey, can you get them to stop their choir practice? Trey! They'll settle in a second. I taught them to do that. Don't ask me why. Okay. What were we just talking about? Okay. Preheat oven so they don't get temperature shock. And then I bake them for 12 minutes. So, yeah, because I'm asthmatic, I take the extra safety. I also have OCD, so I actually am very extra cautious than a lot of artists are with ovens. So, I wait a half an hour, at least a half an hour before I go in there. The windows open not wide because it's like 27 degrees Fahrenheit, but and then I have like a shower curtain that makes the waves go out the window instead of through the room. So that makes a big difference as well. And I'm wearing a ventilation mask, and I'm wearing it kind of looks like a ski mask, but it's for safety. So it covers half my face. So I basically have my whole face covered up. And I usually have gloves on, but there was no kid in there. So, but yeah. In winter can be really hard on my asthma because I have water heat. So it's very dry. And if it gets too humid in the summer, my asthma acts up. But all last spring and summer, I was doing it outside. But then I couldn't get them done in time before the really cold winter hit, which was in the middle of November, because I'm in Canada. So I had to figure something out because I have customers, that are not going to want to wait till next spring for me to finish them. So I have the ovens in my this room that the people who own this house, they used to do woodwork in there. So it's like a little room. It has a window, and so that's where they are. It's connected to my laundry room, and it's been going really well. Nobody else in the house has been having problems from it. But I don't bake like all day long like some artists do. In the winter, I run the ovens once, each oven once, because I can't bake after 5 p.m. because the weather drops big time. And it's dark, so there's no sun to kind of help. So, but in the summertime, I would bake more, but the window would be wide open in the summertime. So I'm just extra cautious about it. That's all. Oh, you need to restore your hair. Well, I actually don't, just to let you know, I do not custom root anymore. Because rooting it's not that I can't do it. It's just that it takes me a long time to do it. Like, rooting can take me a while because I have a vertigo condition. So I can't wear the visors very long, and I can't root without the visors. So unfortunately, that's why I had to stop doing custom rooting. Hi, Elizabeth. I didn't send it to you because I didn't know you'd be up to it. I figured you'd just look if you were up to it. And Kai's got some dental stuff going on, so I certainly didn't think she'd be up to it. So, but anyway, I got Pickle's head in the oven right now, and I put Tink's legs with them, since only his head is in there. That's a good thing about the smaller babies. You can kind of fit, like if you're just putting a head in, you can kind of fit their limbs in there. So it kind of helps with the speed up the baking, process. So that's what I do. If there's room, if there's adequate room for them to get a full good bake. She's just got teeny tiny stick legs. But, yeah. So yeah, rooting is a harder process for me than the painting. But for the customers that I've been doing it for, they know me and they know it takes me a while because of my health. So that's why if you hear me saying I'm rooting this for a customer, that's why I root for them, because I know that they understand my health conditions. Because some people, like one person knew about it up front. They followed me for a year, and then it was taking me a long time because I didn't think I would have to mono root the hair. But because it was fiber hair, I had to mono root it. And I didn't know that because I had only worked with goat hair or very thin synthetic hair. I've never worked with that kind of hair. So it wound up taking me a really long time. And it took me 2 months just to do half the head because I was mono rooting very thick hair. And it was rough. And this person, it got out of hand and it turned into harassment and all this kind of stuff. And, it was like PTSD. So that's when I got out of rooting for anyone in the public because of that. I understand it's a long, but rooting can take a long time, especially mono rooting, um, which is only 1 to 2 hairs at a time, mostly usually just one. Micro rooting is usually 3 or more. So mono rooting is a lot of work. And it was a big head. It was a toddler head. So yeah, it is a lot of work. Um, so I'll never root fiber hair ever again. Ever again. It was hard on the needles. It was hard to get it to go in, and it wouldn't even go. It wouldn't even go that far in. So I had to worry about it falling out. So I did like 2 layers of glue in there. It took like a half a bottle of glue to glue that hair in. It was just nightmare. So anyway, that's why I don't custom root. But for anyone that I work with right now, I custom root for them because they're very patient. Even with my painting, because I'm working on several different babies, it takes me a bit longer, but they've been really good with me and very patient with me. So that's why I'm very, very comfortable to work for them. But not to say that that you may not be. It's just that it's very difficult for me. Plus, even if I still did custom rooting, there would be a waiting list because I have other babies ahead on the list. So, but I'd be happy to take a look at it. And I would be happy to help you find a legit artist. Did you buy this from an artist or did you buy it from a person? Like, were you just not happy how the artist did it? Sorry, I'm just doing my arm exercise here for a second. I injured my shoulder 2 months ago, and then I sprained my knee 3 weeks ago, so I was overusing that shoulder. So my mom taught me some physiotherapy exercises because I don't want to go to physiotherapy and catch the flu. This is like a lot of people, like more than half my city has it right now. So I'm hiding out. But I'll take a look at it and let you know. Okay, so we got Pickle in the oven right now. Pickle is the one that I'm determined to finish. Well, his head anyway. Next, so I can get him in the rooting team with Gertie. So in the meantime today, I'm just working on the ones that I know how to do their detailing offhand. So if I get kits that are not as heavily detailed, like I'll give you an example. So this one has heavy, I gotta turn my light on here. This one has heavy detail. You see in the eyelids, around the mouth, in the ears, you see it's very heavy detail. So these ones, I follow a certain, look at different prototypes and see how they did it. And then I decide, where I want that detail to go. And if I want to do it that color, so I still need like, inspiration on high-end detailing, it's called. So, I'm going to be starting heat set classes because I did air dry mostly for the last 6 years. So I am going to be taking heat set classes. So I'll get to the point where I won't even have to look at the prototypes because I'll learn it from the classes. But for now, that's what I do. But for another kit, now let me show you another kit. So let's take Duran, for example. This is Duran. So you can see that she is not like have that extra detailing in the eyelids, and she doesn't have as much detail in the ears as that one does. And the same thing with let's take an open-eyed version. Oh, how about this one? No, we'll take this one. And this is Willow. She does have some detailing, but She's not like a high ender sculpt. I mean, she is done by like a really good sculpture, but she's not as, she's a cuddlehead. She's not as advanced looking as Laura or this one. Oops. Laura, Duran wants to take a nap. No naps, Duran. Okay. And this one is Primrose. She's another very high-end lace sculpt right here. So lots of detailing to work with. And so I can kind of pull those details out more with special detailing. But as far as the other ones that are not as high-endy, I don't do the full kind of details that I would do on Laura or Primrose. I still do detailing, but it's just, I know how to do theirs offhand, but it's kind of different for the more high-ender ones. If that makes any sense. Oh, okay. You've had it for, it's been with you for 6 years. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, if they're being held and loved, you know, that can happen. So I also did, this is Tink. I did her modeling last night. So that's Tink. So you can see her modeling. She looks way better. Now they got her. Her other modeling wasn't strong enough because I've only been doing heat set since May. And the difference between air dry and heat set is when air dry is drying and curing, it turns a tad darker. It doesn't go lighter. It always goes a tad darker. But heat set goes lighter. So I've had to learn on what's too strong, what's not strong enough, and stuff like that. It's been a process of learning that. So sometimes I've had to redo veining and modeling. Creasing, we usually do more creasing anyway because you don't want it too strong or it'll look muddy. So usually we do purposely don't do the creasing too strong. And when it, like I said, when it dries, it lightens up. When it bakes, it lightens a little bit. So it's been a lot of learning, and you know, it's completely different. Silicone works the same way as air dry does. Well, when you're painting silicone, you have to be very careful because when I was doing practice faces, I was doing veins. And I did it as a light vein, you know, it wasn't dark. I would do it the same way I do air dry. And when I used the matte powder on the practice face, it turned dark, dark blue like a crayon. I was like, what? So when I did it again, because I had 2 practice faces, I still have, I think, one of the practice faces. When I did it the second time, I did it almost like semi-translucent, like you could barely see it. I couldn't even remember where the heck I was putting veins. So I had to be really careful. And then when I matted the head or the face in the matting powder for silicone, I could see the veins. And they were perfect. They weren't too strong and they weren't too weak. But when I put them on in silicone, I could barely see them. They were translucent. You could just see a tad of color. Like, I was like, dang. So, yeah, heat set is completely different. It lightens. So, if you don't do it strong enough, it disappears or fades. If you do it too strong, then it looks bad. Like burnt, or it's not pretty. So it's just a process of learning. It's all a process. Okay. So she has to be baked. So I'm going to put her here. So she's got to be baked. Who shall I work on? Okay, so I'm going to work on the lips again. I'll go around and do lips, so that'll be good. The color that I'm using for lips is called Rose Lips by Irresistible Heat Set. So she gave me a sample of it, and I really like it. It's a nice lip color. So I need a small, like a whittle brush for the whittle whips. Here we go. I actually bought this brush specifically for lips. So, and nails. Okay. This is from Michaels. This, yeah, it's from Michaels. Okay. So I'm just gonna, it's probably better to start the inside of the mouth before the lips, but I didn't think of that. So I'll just have to be, but this is heat set, so I can easily fix mistakes. With air dry, I'm a little more scared with air dry, so. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just take my middle blender brush here and just blend it. Yes, it does take paint off when you do this, but if you don't do it, your lips are not going to look right. They won't look nice and blended. So you have to do more layers. I lost track how many layers I've done to these babies. After I bake her, I'm going to start working in her mouth because if I start it now and it gets over to her lip and I try and wipe it off, it'll take off the layers that are not baked yet. So I'm just going to wait. I wanted to do ear detail on her, though, before I bake her. So, I'm just going to put her... I'll put her to the side for now. So I don't have my tablet with me. It's charging. I need my guide pictures. My apologies. My post-nasal drips that overacted from this dryness. Okay. Oh, she's got really thin lips. The last one I did with thin lips like this one was Gertie by Laura Lee Eagles, who I'm actually starting her rooting process today. But when Pickle's done, they're going to go on a team. So Pickle will be rooted in the evenings. Did I say evenings? Yeah. Evenings, and Gertie will be rooted in the mornings. Gertie's kind of an easy breezy one because she wants to do piggy tails and all that, so I'm doing your basic toddler rooting, which is pretty easy. Curly hair is a little more complex to root, but I'm more alert in the evenings than I am in the mornings. So, all right. Looks like she's got more over here and less there. I might have that red that you see underneath her. That's like that's a creasing color I did for like blood flow in the lips. I actually would make a lot of their lip colors like that. And just add some purple and blues and stuff. But I really like this lip color. I've never bought a made lip color before. But this one, like I said, she gave me a trial of it. And I really like it. But she didn't get as much blood flow on this side. Which is fine. Like, our lips are not, like, perfectly the same on every part of our lip. But, yeah, that looks good. So, now I'm going to add some more blushing to her. So, I'm going to keep those over here so I don't mix them up like I usually do. Thank you, Elizabeth. I wasn't sure which one you were commenting on, though. Sorry, I wasn't looking. I know it was Prim or the smiley one. I'm going to guess it was the smiley one because I know you like that one. Name, Lord, so in your name. I wind up blushing your pickle different. I see, I was right. See, I know you. See, I know you. So I wound up doing it differently, like, because I was looking at your girl pickle and I noticed she didn't have the blushing the way that they're showing me in those guide photos. She seems to have on her forehead like a blushing on one side of the head in a certain area. Because I went through all her pictures and that I have of her, and they all seem to be the same way. So I'm doing, I kind of changed how I'm doing pickles since it didn't stay because it was only one layer that I originally did. So I started blushing him the same way that I'm doing them. And it's showing up better and staying better. So that's actually working out for us. And it looks more natural. So I'm just kind of mostly following your baby rather than those guide photos. So anyway, you'll see when he gets out of the oven. I did his cheeks yesterday as well. Oh, and I added another layer of the liquid thin for those testy areas so that we can get it nice and powdery and so that the paint will stay. Just like I did to Laura here, I'm going to do one more layer on her nose area. And there was an artist on my live last night on TikTok who suggested doing the milias where that separation started. So she's a little more pinky here. I'm sure it'll closer. Like she has a little bit more red in this area. So she said you could do like milias, like milk spots, and it will kind of blend in with that. So I've never done them before. So I'm going to try them on my, I'm going to try them and see how, it works out. But like I'm starting those classes. I just have to sign up for them and pay her. Like I've just been so busy, but yeah. So, okay, so I'll show you. So what I'm about to do to her is what I did to Pickle. As soon as I find the sponge. Might have to take another one out of here. Let's see if I can grab it. I still don't want to pull the whole thing out. I had another sponge. I don't know what. Come on. Come out. I got one out yesterday this way. Probably would have been a lot faster had I just pulled it out. Come on. Yeah, I'm going to have to pull it out. Just, I don't want to lose these paints. Okay. So, as you know, these are cut from a kitchen sponge, and the whole point of what they do is to prevent mold buildup and stuff in your kitchen and bacteria to grow. So, as they dry out, they dry really hard and solid and completely dried. And that's because what doesn't happen what I just said. So I mean, it's great for your kitchen, but it really is annoying for my art. So what I do is I just take distilled water. Let me move her head for a minute so I can show you. I just take distilled water like this, and I just pour water into it. I'm going to do it over here because my gloves are going to get all wet. This was for my hair gluing. So I'm just going to pour it on here. And then it makes it all soft, and it makes the sponge bigger. So for your kitchen, your sponge will actually shrink. But then when you wet it, it regrows. Kind of like a fun science project for kids. A safe one. Okay. And then you want to get as much water out of here as possible, because oil and water don't play nice together. So if you want the paint to stick to the sponge, you got to get as much water out of it as possible. Not so dry that it turns rock hard again, but you see how much water comes out just this little bitty thing. So I'll do that a couple times, just kind of get the water out. And it's still squishy, but it's more dry. And it has worked for me many times. So I'm going to use my color that I call blush. And what I do with that one is I use like a... how do I explain it? I mix red and brown together. It makes like a bit of a creasing color. A blush, a nice blush. It looks like a blood flow. It's a little darker than primary red. Because I find that when I use, that's primary red. I find when I use primary red, it just blends in with the other primary colors, and it doesn't pop out enough. So ever since I've been doing this, it's been working out a lot better for me. I just need a little brush so I can mix it. There we go. So it looks more like a blood color. But it's basically what you see there. And I'm going to paint it on here. I'm going to use this side because it has more skin complexion on it. So when I first do the sponge, I do a couple layers on it because it'll soak in. So I'm going to do. Now, it does, the thinners will cause this to dry out. So what you saw me do earlier, I have to do that more often, especially with a bigger Reborn. It's got to pull my visors down. So I'm just going to start with her cheeks. So you see how that goes on, and it's got like a nice complexion, like a skin type of complexion to it. It's not flat. I don't like my work to look flat. I learned these techniques for air dry because air dry comes out flat. So if you learn these techniques, which I learned from Sue Ellen, Taramina, it can make your work stand out a lot better. So and this will dry like that. It will dry. It'll lighten up a bit, but it will dry with that nice skin complexion. Sorry, just getting rid of a troll. I have no problem with people asking me questions, but they have to be asked in a respectful way. If they don't, I just hide their comments so no one has to see it. You can clearly see I'm painting a doll. It's not that difficult to see. All you need is some common sense. Even a toddler could see what I'm doing. What are you painting? They would say. You painting a dolly? See, even a toddler would know. They may not know it's a reborn, what's used for, and all that, but they can see I have a doll head in my hand and paint. Oh, thank you, Jimmy. I actually was teased a lot as a kid because of my voice. Your voice is so deep. I always kind of wish my voice was a little higher, though, because I always wanted to sing, be able to sing soprano. But I've never been able to. I sing alto. And sometimes I can sing in the middle of alto. When I was in the choir, they'd stick me closer to the tenors because I wasn't a high alto. I was a middle alto, so they would put me in between the altos and the tenors. The tenors are singing too low. So I have my own unique voice. Yeah, I got my own unique voice. Now, I haven't decided with her if I'm going to paint her hair or not. I've never done it before. So I'm going to watch a class on it and then I'll decide if I'm going to root it or not. It's just I got other rooting jobs I got to do. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're going to let that dry. So we'll stay like that depending on how much it lightens. I'll decide if I'm going to do a third layer or not. Okay, so right now I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of use the same color. I need a brush. So I'm going to use this blendy brush because I always started the other one. Need a smaller brush. Oh, here's one. This shouldn't actually be over here. It should be closer to here. Okay, so for the ear detail, I'm going to start with this part of the ear. She doesn't have a lot of detailing in her ear, so it's a little different. I'm used to a lot of detail and creases and all that sort of stuff. Not sure what the heck that's supposed to be. When the kids go back to school, are they back to school yet? No, after New Year's, right? When the kids go back to school, you'll notice the troll stuff will go down. Or teenagers as well. Not young. I think it's more teenagers than young kids. I kind of find that depending on the teenager, that younger kids have a little more common sense than the teenagers. But it depends on the person. Because there are some pretty great teenagers out there, so I don't want to. That's too small, actually, for the ear. Grab. I know a lot of great teenagers, so I'm not saying all teenagers. There are a lot of adult trolls as well, though, but I just find it weird that my troll comments went up when school got out. I don't think that's a coincidence, to be honest with you. Okay, so that'll need to be done more than once. I don't have liquid thin in this batch, so I will be able to do it more than once. Because when you use liquid thin for painting, you can only do one layer at a time. Because it doesn't mix together, because it's got powder in it. So it doesn't mix together as well. But that's why for detailing, except for creases, I do use it for creases. Because it helps blend the creases. And keeps it from beading. So that's why I do use it for my creases. So I've done so many ears that I have it built on memory now. So I don't need my guide pictures for this. Because it's done the same way, whether it's air dry or heat set. The coloring it's basically the same, unless someone wanted to take it a different way. Like some people will put veins and stuff like that in their ears. I haven't done that yet, but heat set. I'm less scared to try new things because heat set does not dry as fast. See, I think she's having issues with paint sticking right here. So she's probably going to need some liquid thin put on there. Because the liquid thin seems to be working better than my primer from Exodus. So the Irresistible primer is awesome. It's amazing stuff. But I've been using liquid thin as a primer. And it's been working out really good. So, oh, that oven's done. So I can put Tink in the other. Alexa, cancel alarm. Sorry, I usually run Alexa on my tablet, but my tablet's charging right now. Okay. So, got that done. I don't think there's anything else that I want to do to her right now without my guide pictures. Yeah, I want to wait for my guide pictures. Okay. There we go. So Drew, she does need lip color at the bottom. I think she's having issues with the paint. The lips and the ears and the tip of the nose are the most common areas where sometimes the paint is not going to stick because they put extra, release in the mold so that these areas don't get torn because these are a lot more delicate areas. And especially areas that are rounded, they seem to have a harder time with the paint sticking when it's a small round like that. So you'll usually see that issue also on fingertips and toe tips. So they do suggest that you put like extra primer on the toes, on the fingertips and all that. I tried that with the primer, but the liquid thin is working better because it has a powder finish like the Irresistible Primer. Um, but the one from Exodus, it's more like a sheen. It's matte, but it's more sheen. So it doesn't have that powdery grip that the other one has. So yeah, I will have to, because you can see that it's darker here than it is here. And that's why that's happening. So what I'm going to do is I will bake her. I'm going to add a little bit more to this lip here in this area. See how it's happening to her lip here? So I'm going to add a little more in this area. And then I'll put her in for a bake. And then I can add some liquid thin to that lip area. And I'll probably add some inside her mouth and on her teeth just to be safe. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little lip color, which is this brush here. I got a palette over on the other side of the table. I have an 8-foot table. It's hard to see everything on my table, but it gives me the room I need. Okay, so I'm just going to add some right here. She doesn't need it up there. She needs it on these lips here. The areas that are more balding. And then I have my smaller blender brush right here. It'll just kind of help it. The liquid thing will kind of help it along the way here. I'll probably add some creasing color in here too. Or some blush color. Well, I did this in creasing, so I'll use... What?
Sis, I had to tell my Alexa to stop because a thing kept making noises like it was on a timer.
Yeah.
My Alexa was doing weird things. I'm just letting you know I told her to stop.
Okay, why do I need to know that?
In case it's messing with your timer.
No, my timer went off.
Okay.
Sorry. We both have an Alexa. So when I yell up the stairs, because my Alexa's not in this room. She's upstairs in my bedroom. And my bedroom is right at the top of the stairs. So when I yell at my Alexa to go on a timer, my sister's Alexa picks it up. So that's why I usually talk to her through my app. But I don't have my tablet with me because it's charging. So she's like, why is it making that sound? There's something wrong with her. Will somebody ask me if I'm trembling? I'm not trembling. Oh my gosh, the trolls are real today, aren't they? Go back to school. They're just wasting their time because they're not going to get attention from me. Sorry, I'm just hiding. My moderator isn't well right now, so please bear with me. You guys, my phone is on a tripod that's on a wire. It's one of those arm tripods that are on wires. So if I bump it accidentally, it's going to go like that. So it's going to look like my hands are trembling when they're not. I do get a little shaky if I'm holding my hand a certain way because I do have tendonitis. So, but trembling, I mean, that trembling to me is like this, like more like a lot more movement. I don't think my hands are moving that bad, but if I bump the camera, it can actually make that look a lot worse. Okay. I don't speak that language and I don't know what they're saying, so I'm just going to hide it. Sorry. Blame the trolls. Oh, Jimmy's a tenor. Great stuff, Jimmy. I love tenor music. I'm a huge fan of Josh Groban, actually. It's kind of hot. It's kind of, oh, my voice. Or I was like, are you hot? You have a fever? What's going on here? They held one for review. Oh, yeah, that's a child, all right. It says I'm a fart on it. That's not even English. I'm a fart on it. Like, that's got to be a young kid. No wonder they held that for review. They never even put that through. Okay, I think I got them. Oh, there's another one that was held for review. Let me see it. Okay, they don't know how to spell. Unhide. Nope, keep them hidden. Keep them hidden. Okay, I don't know what the heck that's supposed to mean. But I'm going to hide it because it sounds like it's supposed to be rude, but... I really don't find this rude. I just find it kind of... No. I think they're just trying to make a joke. Why do people say yo or bro? Or... Okay, I'm not your bro. I have a brother. And you're not it. Because my brother doesn't use social media. Take it. What? Take it turkey for a hair plant. Take it turkey for a hair plant. I don't even understand what that's. But that got a laugh out of me. It's my brain cannot function on that low level. I'm sorry, I just can't. Hello, Gracie. I'm just hiding the trolls here. I think it's pretty sad, Elizabeth, that you have to tell them that my baby is not real when it's just a head on the table. If somebody has a real baby's head on the table, call 911. Okay? Don't take time to make comments. Call 911. And I guarantee you it won't be this color. I'm worried. Okay. Someone had wrote, I'm worried about the little child. What a cute baby. I'm worried about you, that you actually think this is a real baby. So, okay, I want you guys to think about it. Okay? Use your common sense. Okay? Real human beings have guts and muscles and bones and blood and all that kind of stuff in their body, including babies. So, if this was a real baby, okay, it would be purple and pale. It would be bad. It would be really bad. And there would be blood pouring out of here and guts and all kinds of stuff. So I want you to really think about what you're saying. And how dumb you sound. Okay, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm trying to get comments from people that are trying to learn how to make reborns. And when you're making Trump type of comments, which I call no common sense, then it's pushing away their comments of people who are trying to learn or trying to comment on the work or have questions. Like, seriously, this is not that kind of a live. This is a teaching live. All right? You want to do those kind of lives, go to a channel with no common sense. But this is a teaching channel. Okay? You're not going to get all this attention from me where I'm going to actually engage with you except for this one time because I just want to put it out there because there's a lot of trolls today. Okay? I understand you're bored, you want to get time to go back to school or whatever it is, or you're lonely in your life, so you got to go on people's live and harass everyone and write things that have no common sense, or you've been brainwashed by Trump, so he took all your common sense. I apologize. I'm sorry for you. I truly am. But this is a teaching channel. Okay? I don't have time for these petty, no common sense comments. Okay? And if you were truly worried about a child, you should be calling the police. Okay? If you're seeing somebody mistreating a child on the internet and you're taking time to make jokes about it instead of calling 911 to find out where that child is, to get that child help, then how does that make you look? And I get that these are supposed to be funny to you. It's supposed to be funny to you that you're worried about a child. But there are children out in this world that are being abused on a daily basis who have nobody looking out for them. So those jokes are actually not funny because there are actually children that need rescuing in this world. Okay? So I want you to really think about what you're saying. I think it's really time for y'all to go back to school. Oh boy. Still going on, huh? Well, it'll be on my live anyway. See, exactly what I'm saying. There's someone here named Jacqueline, Baby Dolls Care, who is trying to learn. And you trolls are coming in and it's making it harder for me to see their comments or their questions. And you're making it difficult for other people to learn. Okay? So if you're not here to learn, or just because you like to watch the process, then go find something to do with your life. I don't care what it is, as long as it's not harmful to you or somebody else. Okay? This is a teaching channel. I'm not going to turn this into a drama channel for your pleasure. I'm not going to say it again. I've already said it. Okay? I'm not going to engage anymore. I've already said it. I am trying to teach. This is what I do on a daily basis. People are here to learn, and you're making it difficult for them. No one cares what you have to say. No one thinks you're funny. Okay? Enough is enough. Grow up. Grow up. I apologize to my followers that are trying to learn. I apologize. This started happening when kids got out of school. So, I've had like the odd troll here and there. But when there's so many, then when the kids got out of school, then it got worse. So it's either school, primary school, high school, probably a mix. I'm sure there's adults too. With nothing to do. But it seemed to have gotten worse since the kids got out of school. So it'll get better when the kids go back to school. So I apologize that they're interrupting. I usually don't engage, but there was just way too many trolls today. And you guys will notice I did not say what their names were. Because that's what they want. They want me to say their username. That's what they want me to do. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to argue back and forth with them because they want me to do that too. See, when I was a new artist, I used to do that. Not even as an artist. When I was a reborn mama, I used to do that. And then it just got to the point like it was stressing me out. It was stealing my joy. So I just got to the point where I just, well, this was on TikTok. I would block out certain words because people would say, just say adopt or foster. Like they don't bother to go into my account and see that my story is pinned up in my account on TikTok. It's also in my YouTube account. It's harder to find on YouTube because it's not pinned, but it is pinned on my TikTok account, on my personal nursery, and my art channel. So if people took the time to see that, they would see why can't adopt, why cannot foster. Everything is not black and white. You know, it's not this way or that way. It doesn't work that way. It's not as easy as people think. And certainly in Canada, not as cheap as you think. So people just want to judge or they'll say, get a dog. I have 3, thank you. I don't need any more or I'd be in big trouble with the city, you know. Dogs and babies are not the same. We can treat our dogs as our children, like I do. Oops. My dogs are my everything. They're my everything. They're my world. They're my babies. They're my everything. But they don't want me to put them in clothes. They hate clothes. Well, the 2 small ones. My big guy. You know, he needs teenager clothes. And he's got a lot of fur. So I would just be like overheating the poor thing. And my dogs don't like to be pushed in strollers. They're rebels. They love to run. They love to play. You can't force dogs unless they want to. Some dogs like to be pushed into strollers. My sister has a dog that loves clothes. Mine hate them. I can get them to wear their snowsuits and their fall sweaters. That's it. They know they're outside. They have to wear it, so they'll wear it outside. But in the house, it's not happening. It's not happening. But I treat them like they're my kids, you know. They sleep in my bed. I put their feelings before my reborns all the time. But there's things that the reborns do for me that my dogs can't do for me. You understand? So telling me to get a dog is not going to fix infertility depression. You're not a psychiatrist. You're not a board certified psychiatrist. You don't know me, and you certainly should not be telling people what to do for their depression and anxiety. I don't tell people to go and get a reborn. I tell them what's worked for me. Because people have asked me, I lost my child. Do you think a reborn could help me? I always tell them, if you are thinking of getting a reborn because of something traumatic that happened to you, you should speak with a counselor or a therapist before getting a reborn to see, because then they can examine you and see if it could be good for you or if it could trigger you. I'm not a psychiatrist. You know, I'm a caregiver for my sister who's mentally ill and autistic. So do I know a lot of things about mental health? Yes, I do. But that doesn't make me a certified counselor. Okay, maybe TikTok people think they're certified, but you're not certified. Okay, so don't be telling people, and don't put that on animals. Okay, don't put that on animals just because you don't like it. All right, every dog is different. They got their own personalities, their own feelings. Try thinking about the animal and try saying, "Oh, replace your baby with a dog." A lot of people have dogs because they don't want kids. You know, that's fine. That's cool. You know, I had dogs before I couldn't have kids because I love dogs. They're like children in fur. Okay. But they're still animals at the end of the day. Okay. They're still animals. They have animal instincts and they don't, well, some of them actually like it, but my dogs don't want to be in a baby stroller. They're certainly don't like clothes. I can't take them out with me in public. At least with my reborn, even though my reborn is not a living being, when you take them out in public, especially, if you have infertility, depression, or anxiety, or something like that, even though they're not real, you don't feel like you're alone. You know what I mean? They're comforting to look at. They're comforting to push in the stroll. It's comforting. Okay, so it helps people. Um, just like there's adults that have stuffed animals in their bed that they sleep with because it's comforting to them. They feel less alone. Okay, so if I could take my dogs in public, I probably wouldn't need to take a reborn with me. I probably feel better but if I see like a young baby, especially a newborn, it triggers me because I wanted children my entire life since I was very young. And to have that ripped away from you in an emergency surgery when you're trying to get pregnant at that time, it does something to you that I can't even explain to you in words. I don't even have the words to explain it to you. But if a reborn helps somebody like me, why must we pick on them? Why must we be mean to them? Why can't we just be glad that they found something other than drugs and alcohol to help them? Like, I don't understand why people have to be so cruel. Especially, I've been bullied by people who have children. Okay? And I've said to them, you have no idea what gift that you have by being able to have children. You have no idea what a gift they are. Okay? Try being the person that can't have them. Try living your life every day, not having a Mother's Day, not watching your child grow, not being able to have grandchildren, not being able to do all those things. And unless I'm a freaking lawyer, adoption, people put their houses up with mortgage. They mortgage their houses that are almost paid off for fertility treatments, for adoption fees. I don't own my house. I don't have anything to use with the bank so I can adopt. Okay? And they won't let me adopt from where they take children out of homes because those children were taken out of homes with people with severe mental illnesses. And I have a sister who's mentally ill and autistic, who's been in and out of the hospital since she was 14 years old. Do you think they're going to let me adopt a traumatized child? You don't know my story. You don't know me. You don't know what I live with every single day. If this helps me get through each day, if it helps me cope, if it helps me not lose my mind, fall into depression, and wind up in a psychiatric ward, then what am I doing wrong? What am I doing that's so wrong? Just let people enjoy themselves if it's not hurting other people and it's not hurting themselves. I have a psychiatrist, thank you, I don't need one. Especially a TikTok one or YouTube one or a Facebook one. Because I have a board certified one. Okay? I like to see this person show me how they paint a reborn before they judge me. Sorry to this person. kind of got in the realm of things a bit there. I don't use flesh tones. I use the primary method, which is constantly using red, yellow, blue, until you get to the color that you want. Now that's in air dry. In heat set, I've been told the best way with heat set is to do like your modeling. I also do texturing where I use a kitchen sponge and I use that for their skin, like to build up their skin. But I only use for my skin color, I only use red, yellow, and blue. As their modeling, I use purple, red, and no, red, purple, and like a medium green. Like a lighter green, but not too light. Not like neon green, but a lighter green. The head is made, this one, all the ones on my desk are vinyl. I do not work on silicone in this room because my dog's hair flies everywhere. No, I really don't, Joyce. I really don't want them to stay on. Thank you so much, Cats. I really appreciate it. I love the UK. I actually buy my products from my heat set products from the UK at Mott and Guido. Um, there was this child, and I thought it was so adorable that I saw on YouTube, and he did this funny joke, and he says, "Do you know what we say? Do you know what you ask someone who's feeling sad?" And this kid was British, and the dad said, "What?" And he says, "You okay?" That was so adorable. Like, I want that kid. I want that kid. But yeah, absolutely adorable. The things kids say, eh? Hey, I'm Canadian, eh? Hey. Okay, I'm done my rant. I haven't done that in a long time. Oh, I'll be glad when I get back to school. It's lips on this one. I'm not used to these kind of lips. I don't see a lot of detail in their lips. And just how the bottom lip goes far back like that. It's really easy to go over the line on this one. Because he doesn't have a lot of detailing. But it's still a really cute kit. You know, it kind of really looks like Tank, but a bigger. Like, this one's the size of a newborn, but a small newborn. It's a small newborn. Like, because she's too long for preemie clothes, but newborn clothes run big on her. So she's kind of in the middle. But if you look at the faces, so this is Oakland, right? And this is Tink. So they have like the same kind of like expression, except this one's mouth is opened a little bit, but they're very much alike. So this is a preemie. So you see it next to this one. Okay. Now, oops, you're on the wrong shelf. This one is a newborn. So you see how that one's a bit bigger? They're very close, but this one is a tad smaller. This one here. So, but they are close anyway. So this one's from Bountiful Baby. It's not a real born. It's a sculpted kit. Okay, so now we're going to do your, starting to dry up a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to water this one because it is drying up a bit. Where's my cup? I like Mickey Mouse. Anyone else like Mickey Mouse? I bought my sister's dog this Stitch sweater, Christmas sweater that was on sale at PetSmart. I got it for 50% off, and it's too big for her. And it's they were sold out of medium, so I got her a large because she fits in some larges, but this one looked like an extra large. So I didn't want to go. I really don't want to go out because the flu is really bad in my city right now. Um, so I gave it to a friend of mine for Christmas for her dog. It's really cute. It's got Stitch, you know, it's a character Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. It's really cute. We are trying to do extra special things for Lily because this is likely her last Christmas. She has cancer. She's a retired service dog. And so we're just trying. I spoiled her the most. And my sister's puppy, it's his first Christmas, so he got spoiled. The other dogs, they care more about the treats than they do about the toys. You know, they're older. I bought them toys though. Don't worry, I didn't leave them out. Like I said, they don't like clothes. But yeah, and then they got Christmas cookies, but Lily she's a Shih Tzu and Poodle mix. She's the one with cancer. She didn't do well with it. She threw up and stuff like that. Poor thing. So sometimes dogs can be sensitive to the yogurt coating. They use yogurt icing. So some dogs are just more sensitive to it. And then they use a food-safe food coloring. You know how they make it look like chocolate? It's not actually chocolate. It's food coloring to make it look like it's chocolate, but it's not. Because dogs can't have chocolate. They used to make like a fake-looking chocolate, but a lot of people didn't buy it because it wasn't good for their immune system. How they were making it. Dogs didn't react to it well. But the yogurt icings, it won't harm them, but some dogs are just more sensitive to it. And all the other dogs was fine. My husky that passed away a year ago, she was sensitive to those, so I never bought them for her. Okay, there we go. It's spongy again. It's spongy again. Okay, so I just got to find the brush I was using. I believe, yeah. That's my lip one. I need my blush one. So remember, the first one I do 2 layers. So sponge will soak in some of that first layer. Okay. Oh. All right. It's hard to hold. I got big hands. Piano player. Basketball player. I was on the basketball team. All right. So I'm going to do the cheeks. This one's a little lighter, so there still might be some water on it. I was kind of hoping it'd be darker than that. But I just go over it until I like the coloring. So this one will go up for sale when it's done. Still has a lot of detail work to go through and all that. But I kind of like to work, if I'm doing the same color on different babies, I prefer to work with that. So I don't have to like run out of brushes and have them all mixed up. You know what I mean? It's just a lot easier when you're using the same color to just focus on that. So I'll do up to 2 to 3 colors, but because with detailing, you're using so many different colors. So I just focus on the basics first, and then I do the real high definition ones last because they're more time consuming. And then I don't have to worry about doing this afterwards. Like, oh, okay, I already did that. See, this one came out a little stronger. But with heat set, kind of hard to go over the last bit that you did. Yeah. So this is the cheekies. There's my brush right here. So it's funny. The details to me, if you're doing high-end details, takes as long as it does to actually paint the kit. You just get away with less baking time because you can do more layers, you know. But because when I was working on these babies, I was using liquid thin. And with liquid thin, you can only do one layer at a time. And that's why it's taken so long. And then I talked to an artist, and she said if you use a different thinner, you only really need liquid thin for detailing. And if you want to seal them with liquid thin, or, you know, you can use it as a primer or whatever. She said, but you don't need it for like washes and all that. But she said, I mean, you need it for washes, but for modeling and texturing and all that kind of stuff, you don't really need it. So that's when I started changing it, and I bought Exodus thinning oil because it's non-toxic from First and Crafts. So I use that for this kind of stuff. So now I can do more layers. But if I was using liquid thin, I would only be able to do one layer at a time. And that would have took me like all the way till spring. So I'm glad I found that artist to let me know that, because I didn't realize that. So what I'm doing here is just more like a blemish thing. Same thing as blushing, really. Just in this area. I try to get a bit in here if I can. Not all the way, though, because I do other detailing in here. But, yeah. And just under the chin here. Sometimes you could do under the here if you wanted to. The sides of the neck. Because, you know, when the baby's lying in their car seat or whatever, they can, or when they're sleeping in there, they can get a bit of that on there. Okay, so now I'm going to do her, the outside of the ears like you saw me do on the other kit. So I need blushing for that. So go on the purge. And then, okay, this one doesn't have, see what I mean by when they don't all have that strong ear detail? So usually, they have a bit more over here, but I'm seeing over here, it's coming through here. But some of all these extra areas, just depends on the sculpture, how, you know, how detailed they want to get. And I've heard from many sculptors that ears are very challenging. I've done some sculpting, but I haven't tried ears yet. Okay, I'm going to get a skinny dry brush, just a little one here, so I can kind of scoop some of that beading in here. There's some beading in there. And then I did drop some back here, so I want to kind of blot that out. It happens. Okay, and then I'm just going to get my kabuki here. My mini blendy brush. Also mini kabuki. Okay, so that blends it in. so it doesn't come out blotchy. I'm going to do, I think this side, it's not, sometimes you need a dry brush. I might want to rub this, get some paint off of this. Okay, so I'll do the same thing to the other ear. Alright, so I'm just going to paint here. I still got to put the tink in the oven. The rest of her, anyway. Doesn't sound very good, does it? The rest of her. So you want to go just to where this crease starts here. You want to just get just before that crease. Sometimes you can use like blue in this area or a little purple or something. You could, but you don't have to. I think the younger the baby, the more important that would be. And this is just blending it. You can use the sponges. I just find that the sponges take more paint off. That's why I don't like using this. If it was air dry, I'd be using sponges. But because if I did it like this way and air dry, it would dry before I could get to it. Okay, so this looks good. Happy with that. Okay, buddy. So your lips are drying. So when I sell this kit is not as expensive as, let's say, this kit. Okay, so when people are asking about pricing, well, this kit is actually sold out now. So this kit is worth $400 just for the unpainted kit is worth $400. This kit usually runs for about 40, 45, 50 something, but I got this one on sale. So from the price range would be a lot different between these two. Now, let me see. Now, Joanne, who's bigger, okay, her kit price was cheaper than this one. You see what I mean? But there's more, she's bigger, some more product is used on this one. So that's why it's very hard to give people like a certain amount, because it all depends on each kit. Every kit is different. And it depends on the amount of detail, on the amount of product we use. It's all based on that. So, yeah. She is cute, though. You should see her with her eyes then. She's really, really adorable. I do have, I always do before pics of them, before I paint them. So if you go through my videos, like in the spring, or summer, late spring, you should see her pictures before painting. Because I'm working on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was 8, but I put him to the side because he's mine. Because I want to make sure I have enough product to finish my customers' babies first. And I want to focus my time on my customers' babies. So I'm just doing my one, which is Laura, because she's my favorite sculpt ever created. Up to the point that Lordly Eagles sculpted Sana, but I haven't seen Sana in person yet. I already love her bunches. But see, with Laura, I wasn't like super like, oh, I have to have her, because I like a lot of my reborns to be different. I don't want multiples of them all looking like alike, So I already had a newborn, already a couple newborn girls. So I thought, well, why am I going to get Laura? I have a couple newborn girls. Even though I was very fascinated by her details, but my girls have big details too. So like, what do I need another, So a customer of mine wound up ordering her as to be twins with Max by Laura Lee Eagles. Then she turned out to not be a newborn. She turned out to be a bigger newborn, like about 2 months old. Like she wears 0 to 3 months. So she's a lot longer and bigger and all that. So I fell in love with her like that. Like, oh my God, how have I not ordered this baby? How did I not order this kit before? And I fell in love with her. I painted her in air dry. And she was my main. I took her to all kinds of places. And I have silicones. I have $3,000 silicones here. And I'm out with her. And then I got into heat set. And decided that I want to sell my Laura and paint a Laura in heat set. So the same customer fell in love with my Laura. So she wound up buying my air dry Laura so I could buy another Laura kit. It's not funny. So now this is my Laura in heat set. But her kit is, I love painting her. I can paint a million of her, but I wouldn't want to sell them. So, I love doing what I do. But yeah, Laura's my favorite. And Sana, when I finally get her, probably won't be till spring. She'll be my other favorite. You'll see me a lot on my private channel with Laura and Sana. So her name is actually going to be Charlotte, after a child I was a nanny to until she was a teenager. And my Sana kit is going to be named Celine, after Celine Dion. So you're gonna see me with them a lot when they're completed. Okay. Okay, so that was Oakland. Okay, Tink has to bake. So I can't do Tink yet. And Laura. Oh, I just have to fix Laura's. So she went through a little temperature shock. So I've been having issues with her ears and her nose. So I believe I did put liquid thin on her ears yesterday. Yes, I did. Okay, so I put some liquid in because it would give me a more powdery surface, which will grab the paint better. Yeah, so she needs, but her nose, you can see here that it wasn't always sticking, so some of the area on her nose is darker than others. I did have an artist go on my TikTok. I'm on TikTok at 7 p.m. New York City time. And she suggested that where that line meets, that I could do Millas, also known as milk spots. So she did suggest that. But I am still trying to fill it in a little bit more so it's not as noticeable. So to do that, I take a little texture, primary red texture. Never give up on your babies. There's always a way. Don't strip them unless you have to. And I do not like stripping heat set. So I will try everything first. Okay. Where there's a will, there's a way. It takes more work. But you can't give up. That's the thing. You just cannot give up. So I use this as a dry brush. So I'm going to use this little brush here. You want to try and stay away from where it's darker. You want to do your best because it'll just get darker and darker and darker. So I'm just going to stick in this region here. Because see, my blending brush will push it over a little more. So I don't want to go right up to that line. I want to be close, but I don't want to be right up into it. So I'm going to leave her like that. And then I'm going to take, now that I'm done, I'll take the same blending brush I did for blushing color because it's very close, except blushing's just a tad darker. So I'm just going to gently pounce this on her nose like this. And you'll see it'll move over a little bit. Oops. I had some on my finger, so got on her chin. Let's see. That's a good thing about heat set. You just blend it out. Don't rub. I learned that the hard way. Okay, sorry. I was with my blending brush, wasn't I? So I just want to carefully blend this just up to that line. I don't want it overlapping. I want to bring it right up there. And then any area, if it's a tiny area that's not covered up yet, that's where you put your Millas. And we'll block that area. But I don't want her to have too much Millas. I don't want her covered in, I don't like when they cover their nose in them. I don't like that. Like a couple is fine, but okay. It's really hard to keep lines out. So then you want to use a dry brush, okay, to kind of just get rid of any lines. But I think those were on there from before, to be honest with you. As I fill her nose in more, it will blend in. But it just needs more layers. That's all. So you have to be very patient with it. But over time, you will get it closer. Every artist is different. People with Genesis will bake up to 6 layers, and if they're really brave, 12 layers. I only do up to 3 layers. So I do 3 layers and then I bake them. Sometimes on the smaller areas, I'll do some more. But I really want to make sure that those layers are going to bake evenly and really well. So since I'm still new at heat set, I would rather stick with the three layer for now, you know, because they're all baking well now that way. Maybe, you know, I might try going up to 6 layers at a later time. But the other thing too is with heat set is that when you put the paint on, it can easily get rubbed off when it's dried until it's baked. Once it's baked, it's on there real good. So I don't want to have like all these layers underneath that could wind up getting damaged if I'm doing more than 3 at a time. You know what I'm saying? So like if I do modeling, there's 3 colors to my modeling. So there's the red, which is the primary red. And then I do a dark purple, and then I do a light green, and I'll do all those together. As long as I'm not using liquid thin it. If I'm using Exodus thinning oil, I'll do all 3 together, and then I bake them. But sometimes you can get away with doing a little more layers, like in the lips or, you know, like detailing areas. But I'm still new at heat set, so I want to be careful with that. Oops. But yeah. Yeah, she's coming around really good. I'm going to just add 1 more layer to her. Why do people write numbers? I don't understand that. Like, are those numbers supposed to mean something? I don't follow what's hip these days. I'm sure they don't say hip, but I don't even like. I had a friend that was like using he was messaging me, but he was using like the text slang, the text slang. I was, I said, "What did you say?" I'm like, "Come on, we're '80s kids, okay? Speak English. Speak what I can understand." Like, I know some of them. I know TTYL, talk to you later. BRB, be right back. But he messaged me and put sup, SUP. So what the frig does that mean? SUP. So I'm trying to figure out 3 words with SUP, right? So, SUP. What could that stand for? SUP. And then he goes, it means what's up. I said, well, why didn't you just say that? Or hi. 2 letters. Hi. Oh, okay. Well, I'm like, well, why didn't you just say hi? Jeez. You know, I didn't understand what the heck he was saying. I said, you have to speak English with me. I'm not good at the slang. I wasn't raised around slang. My mom speaks very proper English. So I'm not even good with like street slang or how they talk in high school these days. I don't know what the heck you're saying. I just wasn't raised around it. You know what I mean? Even cursing, I was not raised around cursing. And I live with my mother, so I help take care of my sister. Plus, it's impossible to live on your own. But I pay my bills. I don't live off my mother. I pay my bills. My mom doesn't like living alone anyway, so it works out. We all like living in a house, and we can't afford a house on our own. So, and I don't want my mom like in a home when she's older. I want to take care of her, so we'll always live together. Because after I lost my fertility, I had no desire to be in a relationship anymore. It kind of just it killed that, because it's just a reminder, you know. Unless I marry a rich guy, I can't afford adoption, you know what I mean? So I always wanted to adopt. Even if I had children, I still wanted to adopt. I didn't realize how crazy expensive it was. And then I didn't realize how difficult it was going to be. Because, I've seen a lot of documentaries or like people who foster, like in the United States, who adopting in its time. And it seems like it's so freaking easy. You know what I mean? But over here, you literally have to sell your soul away to adopt, and to foster. So Canada is very strict. Extremely. I've seen some kids wind up in some real horrifying foster homes, even by people who worked for the system, who have their university degrees in child development, like, as social workers who have done horrible things to children in their foster care. But me, who's been nanny for 20 years, who's taken several child care courses, including nutritional, who's worked with children with special needs, they won't let me foster because of my sister. And I was told it was they told me it was going to cost around $30,000 to adopt privately. And I would be put down at the bottom of the list because I'm single and I don't make a ton of money. So they're going to put like doctors and people who make a lot of money, they're going to put them higher up on the list, you know? So you don't believe how hard it is. It's really difficult. Where can you get my dogs? You can't have my dogs? Or did you mean dolls? My dogs are not up for adoption. Pretty girl. I think it meant dolls, though. I'm pretty sure. I let people know when they're up for sale. Ever since my laptop expired and the new software is too strong for my laptop, I haven't worked on my website. But you know what? Honestly, I've never had a chance to put them up for sale because my followers usually buy them before I even post them up. Because if I have regular followers that I know that talk to me often and I know who they are, they get right away to put a hold on them. Because I trust them because they've been following me for a long time and I know they know my work and all that kind of stuff. So I do allow them to put a hold on them. So that's what's happened with every single Reborn I've ever made for sale. The rest of them have been customs. So I've never really had a chance to put one up for sale, to be honest. To be honest. But if I did put them up for sale, and they weren't bought off from my lives or from my update videos, they would be posted on Facebook. They would be posted on here. They would be posted on TikTok because I have a Facebook page for Precious Little Lambs. And they would go on Marketplace. I don't use eBay. I've never liked eBay, to be honest with you. Never really trusted eBay. But they would go on we have a website for all Reborn artists. It's like a marketplace of artists, or people who are just selling their dolls. They all have to be authentic though. It's like a marketplace, but for Reborns. And it's called reborns.com. So any Reborns that are up for sale are usually listed on there. Unless it's like a prototype or a very high end, they usually auction them on eBay. But we're talking in the thousand marker, like for a newborn, like $2,000 to $3,000, some $5,000. But those are done by the highest grade artists in the world, you know. Like I have a mentor who is also my favorite artist, and her dolls sell anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 for newborns. But she's a prototype artist, but she's also one of the best artists in the world from what I've seen. Okay, those are... Oh, I didn't blot them, did I? They look really good, though. Her lips have come a long way. I mean, before they weren't even hanging on to the paint. Liquid Thin changed that. Remember how bare they were, Elizabeth? I'm also going to do to her, once I get these lips done, I did it to the Laura that I did an air dry because I noticed it on one of the prototypes. She has like a red suckle mustache, kind of like a little red above this area. So I'm going to be doing that as well with my blush color. It's because of babies sucking on their lips or sucking on soothers. They get like this little red mustache. Kind of like if we were to drink milk. It's just a really tiny red little mustache just above the lips. And I really liked how that came out on the air dry one. So I want to do that to her as well. So I'm going to let her bake. So because I had put some stuff on her ears to help grab the paint. So after Tank, she'll get baked. And I also have to bake Duran. I had no one to bake, and now they're piling up. Okay, I think I covered everybody's heads here, didn't I? Because Tink has to bake, so I can't touch her. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heads I worked on. And I'm baking. That's what I like to see. Progress. I got to map out Reborn's head, which I'm going to do offline. I don't like mapping online because I'm still, learning it myself. Hi, Leo. Let me see. What time is it right now? Oh, it's about that time anyway. So I'm going to sign off now. And then I will be on TikTok at 7 o'clock. So I got to let my phone charge for that. So for those of you that will be on TikTok, I'll see you then. Those of you. If I don't see you tomorrow, then have a happy new year. And thank you for your support.